Hare Krishna, you can start with.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमाचार्य पादाय निताय कृपापदायिने गौरकथा धाम दयानगर नामतने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचयनिने विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य स्थाने जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुर्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. We will continue reading drama. On another occasion, the Lord wished to enact a drama in which he would dance in the mood of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Costumes were arranged, and the Lord assigned parts. Gadadhar would play Rukmini, Brahmanan would be an elderly female companion named Suprabha, Nityanand would play Purnamashi, Radharani's grandmother, who is also Yogamaya, the arranging instrument of Radha and Krishna's meetings. Haridas Thakur would play a guard who would keep everyone alert, and Shivas would dress as Narada. Other roles were also assigned. However, the Lord declared that only those who had control of their senses would be allowed to watch. Advaita Acharya and Srivas then excused themselves from participation, declaring that they did not have sufficient qualification. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Do not worry. Today you will all become great mystic yogis. None of you will be bewildered while seeing me dance." All of this took place in the house of Chandrasekhar, and for him, this was the summit of his good fortune. Advaita Acharya inaugurated the proceedings by dancing, and there was ecstatic kirtan. Then Haridas Thakur appeared first on the stage with a long handlebar mustache dressed in loincloth and his head decorated with a turban, with a stick in his hand. He cautioned everyone, "Oh, brothers, get ready. The life and soul of the universe will now dance in the dress of Lakshmi." As he ran about with a stick in his hand, alerting everyone, the hairs of his body stood on end out of love for Krishna. Haridas proudly invited everyone. Worship Krishna, serve Krishna, chant Krishna's names. Everyone laughed as they watched Haridas. They inquired, "Who are you and why are you here?" Haridas replied, "I am a watchman of Vaikuntha. I always wander around awakening people to Krishna consciousness. The Lord has left Vaikuntha and come here. He will distribute pure love of God everywhere. Today he will personally dance in the dress of Lakshmi. Therefore, carefully plunder that ecstatic love today." After delivering the above lines, Haridas Thakur began curling his mustache and running about with Murari Gupta, the incarnation of Hanuman, in tremendous happiness and to the joy of all the Vaishnavas. Mahaprakash benediction. During the Lord's exhibition of 21 hours of ecstasy, Mahaprakash, at the house of Srivas Thakur, he called for Haridas Thakur and said, "O Haridas, behold my form. You are dearer to me than my own body. I certainly belong to the same caste as you. Listen, Haridas, when the Yavanas beat you in the various villages, I saw your distress and descended from Vaikuntha with the disc in my hand in order to cut everyone to pieces. Yet you desired the well being of those who almost tortured you to death. You ignored how severely you were beaten and desired their well being. When you desired their benefit, I was unable to use my power against them. My disc became powerless because of you. Due to your resolve, I could not sever their heads. When I saw how severely they were beating you, I covered your back. I then took the beating of my own body. Here are the marks. I am not speaking a lie. Besides the other indirect reasons that made me appear, I came quickly because I could not tolerate your distress. My Nada, Advaita Acharya, properly recognized you, for Advaita has completely bound me with his love. From this statement of Lord Chaitanya, we can get an even clearer picture how dear Haridas Thakur was to him. The activities of Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya expedited the Lord's descent. Lord Chaitanya could not bear the suffering of those who loved him so sincerely. Upon hearing such compassionate statements from the Lord, Haridas Thakur was overwhelmed and fell unconscious to the ground. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demanded, get up, my dear Haridas. See my manifestation to the satisfaction of your heart. Haridas Thakur tried to see the form of the Lord, but was blinded by his tears. The Lord attempted to pacify him without much success, and Haridas Thakur began to pray, my dear Vishwambar, O Lord of the universe, please be merciful to this sinful person. I fall at your feet. I have no good qualities. I am a fallen outcast. How can I possibly describe your glories? If one sees me, he becomes sinful. If one touches me, he should take bath. How then can I glorify your topics? You have personally declared that you will never forsake anyone who remembers your lotus feet, even if he is as insignificant as an insect. But you forsake the greatest kings if they do not remember your lotus feet. These words do not apply to me. However, for I do not remember you. You protect even a fallen soul if he simply remembers you. Once the sinful brothers Duryodhan and Dushasan brought Draupadi to disrobe her in the royal assembly. Finding herself in that dangerous condition, she remembered you. By the influence of her remembrance, you entered into her cloth. As a result of her remembrance, the cloth became unlimited. Yet those miscreants did not understand why. One time, when Parvati was surrounded by witches, she remembered you as they were about to devour her. By the influence of her remembrance, you appeared to chastise those witches and deliver that great Vaishnavi. But I am so sinful that I cannot remember you. Therefore, my dear Lord, please give me shelter at your lotus feet. Although the sinful Hiranyakashipu tortured Prahlad by giving him poison, throwing him to the snakes, throwing him into the fire, and throwing him bound to a rock into the water, Prahlad simply remembered your lotus feet and was delivered from all those calamities by the influence of that remembrance. Some lost their teeth and some lost their prowess when you manifested by the influence of his remembrance. Okay, so what is my understanding from today's reading is, there are 9 processes of bhakti, navada bhakti, that is from out of that those 9 processes, one is remembrance of the Lord, smaranam. So how by remembering the Lord helped his devotees every time. So many examples are given here, like Prahlad Maharaj, Mother Parvati, then Draupadi. Yeah, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have read so many examples are there. Gajendra Moksha Leela, so many examples. Simply when they remember the Lord with full surrender, the Lord came to help them. And also here the greatness of Haridas Thakur is also mentioned, how great he was, like even though he is such a great devotee of the Lord came to protect him when he was beaten by the people. the Lord came personally to protect him. Still, Haridas Thakur is telling here that he is not able to remember the Lord. He's so fallen. That is the greatness of Haridas Thakur. And even as reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, towards the last chapters, it is mentioned like the ideal family life, how human beings should behave during Shraddha ceremony, whom we should, offer food. So it is mentioned that the example of Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur is given there. Advaita Acharya considered Haridas Thakur as the most elevated person. He is the most qualified Brahman. Even though he was born in a Muslim family, he considered him as the most eligible Brahmana to to whom he can offer food. So during the Shraddha ceremony, he offered food only to Haridas Thakur. So it is mentioned it's always better to give. If you want to give something, you have to give to a qualified person who is always surrendered to Krishna. Oh, the example of Haridas Thakur is given there. So, yeah, how elevated Haridas Thakur is, we can understand from these readings. So that's my understanding from today's reading is we can go to chanting.